TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And I want to let you know that the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Over 2 million men worldwide have joined the movement for all their below-the-waist needs. Engineers for the last 18 months have perfected the greatest hair trimmer ever created, the Lawnmower 3.0. The third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. You can choose the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other items by going to manscaped.com, and you can also save 20% by using the promo code StateOfSaints. That's manscaped.com. Use the promo code StateOfSaints and save 20% on the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Hope everyone is having a good afternoon because we are recording the State of the Saints podcast on a Thursday afternoon. And thank you so much for being here. As y'all can see, your boy is not at the studio in his home. He's actually at the radio station. I'm at the radio station this afternoon, but I'm going to give you all what you're here for, and that is to talk about the New Orleans Saints. And on this edition of the State of the Saints podcast, we're going to be talking about Jameis Winston. Okay, and is Jameis Winston the obvious choice as the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints? But thank you all for following in accordingly. Those that are checking out the live, those that are in the chat right now, and if you're here, go ahead and hit me with that Arthur Fonzarelli. Hit me with that thumbs up. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about when I say Arthur Fonzarelli. If you ever seen Happy Days, you know the Fonz used to always give a thumbs up and say, hey, all right? So go ahead and hit your boy with that Arthur Fonzarelli. If you love the State of the Saints podcast, subscribe if you're brand new. And there's a lot of things, man, going on with the State of the Saints podcast. I got to mention this before we get started, folks, because I'm really excited about it. No, never mind. I'll tell y'all later. I'll tell y'all later about it, man. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Jameis Winston, man. Let's talk about Jameis Winston and the fact that Jameis Winston has been working out with Saints players. He's been working out with guys like Traquan Smith. He's worked out with guys like Adam Troutman, working out with Todd Montgomery, guys like that. So, I said on the last edition of the State of the Saints podcast, it seems to me that Jameis Winston has been a little bit proactive, right? He's been way proactive, more proactive than a Taysom Hill, okay? And maybe that's not fair, due to the fact that, man, we live in this social media world, right? If it's not in front of our face, then we feel like it doesn't exist. Now, if you're looking at optics here, you would think that Jameis Winston is indeed outworking Taysom Hill, all right? Because, you see videos of Taysom Hill or see pictures of Taysom Hill. I mean, he's been hanging out with his family, building a new home, out there in Utah and, just spending time with his newborn baby son, which congratulations to him. I understand that, especially if it's your first child, man. That's an amazing thing, but it just seems like, Jameis is always doing work, man, always putting in the work, man. Jameis has really just shut it down and been focused. And I know this personally because I asked Jameis representation, could Jameis be a guest here on the State of the Saints podcast? And they say he's not taking any interviews right now. And you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Jameis Winston's dad, you know what I'm saying, who hit me up on social media, you know, and he talked to me about, you know, possibly having him on the show. But I told him, I respect the fact that he was working out, getting his grind on. So a lot of people may feel that Jameis is outworking Taysom Hill, which we don't know that for sure. Maybe Taysom is just not recording his workouts. Maybe Taysom is just not showing everybody what he has going on. I don't know. But I do know this. The more Jameis Winston puts video out there, the more people are going to get excited about seeing him as the starting quarterback more so than Taysom. And Sean Payton, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, was on the Rich Eisen show, and I apologize I don't have that clip, but I will have that clip available for those that are supporters of the State of the Saints podcast. I owe you all an episode. So for all those supporters of the State of the Saints podcast, you're going to get your exclusive episode, and we're going to go ahead and show that clip. But I'll tell you, for those that are here, Sean Payton was talking about the quarterback situation, and he talked about he in no stretch of the imagination feels that he wants to have a quarterback by committee. He wants to make sure that he has the right guy in place. Now, he says that it might be a little bit complicated in certain situations, which, you know, like I said, I'll tell you all about that later for the supporters. But it seems to me like Sean Payton kind of understands what he's going to do. Like, I mean, he may not want to show his hand, and he's throwing all these other guys in there like Trevor Siemian and Ian Book, but I just feel like that's a little bit tongue in cheek. If the Saints want the best chance to win, if they want the best chance to win, they got to go with Jameis Winston. I feel like Jameis Winston gives the Saints the best chance to win. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm sorry, folks. You know, people want me to believe in Taysom Hill and his ability, but what has Taysom Hill really shown you that shows you that he can win game in, game out? And some people will combat that, will say, well, what has Jameis shown you that he can win game in and game out? Jameis has shown me that, you know, he can be a quality starter. Jameis has shown me durability. Jameis showed me that despite the situation, he's going to go out there and give it his best. I never seen Jameis Winston give up. I never seen Jameis Winston throwing a towel. I never seen Jameis Winston, I never seen nobody ever say that Jameis Winston wasn't talented. I never heard anybody say that Jameis Winston couldn't play quarterback. It's just as simple as that. I think a lot of people want Taysom Hill to work because they like Taysom Hill. You know, it's almost like you know, the guy that you see that tries hard, right? It's the guy that's out there playing basketball, you know what I'm saying? And he becomes like the neighborhood favorite, right? You know what I'm saying? He makes a shot, everybody just goes crazy because he's not used to making that shot. You know what I'm saying? He just automatically just becomes everybody's favorite guy. No matter he can't play or not, he still get picked on. That's what I feel like with Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is extremely talented, don't get me wrong, but Taysom Hill's ability outside of being a quarterback makes him a really good fit. Like, if I'm Taysom Hill, why in the world would I want to be the starting quarterback? I'm being dead serious here. If I am Taysom Hill, I have a good little thing going. How many guys do you know that's a backup quarterback that makes $16 million a year, right? 16 guaranteed dollars. How many you know? I mean, and only threw what, 6 passes? You know, like, you know, before he had his 4 games as a starter. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you can't think of a better situation than that. That's a win. That's a dub. Okay. The fact that you can go out there, because he's not going to get this type of opportunity anywhere. You're not going to be able to go out there and play if you're playing for the Jets, right? Because they may not have an offense constructed for you. At least with the New Orleans Saints, at least you can go out there and play. Like, even if you don't become the starting quarterback, you still get opportunity to play because how much of a matchup nightmare you are. Jameis Winston, to me, just puts the Saints in a better position to win. I'm sorry. You know, you can make an argument all day for Taysom Hill. I'm just not seeing it. I do not see it. I see what Jameis Winston is, a guy who who had bad leadership, you know what I'm saying, who had bad tutelage. And for all those people out there that's talking about these 30 interceptions, let me go ahead and kill this myth that you got going here. But before I do, I want to thank Alfred for the $4.99. Thank you so much for the $4.99. Let me see if I can pull it up so we can read it here. And I apologize, Alfred. Let me stroll back a little bit. There we go. Alfred, thank you very much for the $4.99. Says, I'm gonna keep it real, TJ. I watched some of Ian Book highlights. He has the swag, showing likes. I think he's gonna beat Winston out for the job. I doubt that very highly. Unless he about to look. Here's the thing. I think sometimes like our judgment is a little bit clouded as Saints fans, especially at the quarterback position, because here's the reality. We never been faced with this situation. We haven't been faced with this situation, I should say, in a very long time. For 15 years, we have had consistent quarterback play. And sometimes we feel like, well, this person can come in and they can work within the system. Let me go ahead and explain some stuff to you all. Let me go ahead and help you understand this, right? The Saints offense is a very complex offense. That's the reason why they go and they select certain type of players. They select certain type of players that fit within the scheme of that offense. See, the thing about it is at the quarterback position, we only seen good quarterback play, and we seen a very knowledgeable quarterback that was 15 years into this system, right? And even if you want to make an argument about some of these other quarterbacks, what about Taysom? What about Teddy? Teddy was in his system. He was going into his second year when he started those 5 games. Taysom Hill has been here, 4 years before he got opportunity to be a starter. So for all those people that just thinking that it's just so easy to pick up, that is definitely not true. So I would be highly surprised if Ian Book picks up a playbook, no pun intended, but if he picks up a playbook and he just automatically just becomes like, the is all and the be all. I think it takes some time because, Emmanuel Sanders said this. He did an interview and he was talking about the different type of rotations. He said normally teams have about 6 or 7 offensive rotations, right? With the wide receivers, the tight ends. He said, I've never seen a team have so many rotations. The Saints have about 15 or 16. So I fail to believe that a rookie can come in and can learn 14 or 15 offensive concepts like that right off the bat. If he does, he's an actual genius, okay? And he definitely is going to lead the Saints to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. If you can come out here and you can grasp the offense of the New Orleans Saints that quickly as a quarterback, then you deserve to start. But I don't think that's going to happen. And I honestly feel like the way that Sean Payton was talking about, during that press conference at the draft, he's not expecting Ian Book to start. So if Ian Book comes out there and he balls out and he plays better than Jameis Winston, then I think that would shock the heck out of everybody that is a part of that organization, because I don't feel like at this point and at this stage they believe that he has the capability to be the starting quarterback. Now, like I said, I could be wrong. He can come out here, understand offensive concepts, play better in training camp, but it's just hard. Like you have to be really into this system. And this is Jameis Winston's second full year in the system. He's been with this team an entire year, been in a quarterback room. So he has a year under his belt. So I think that he has that advantage. And so does Taysom Hill. All right. But Ian Book, I'm pretty sure if he goes out there and he works hard, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Saints are not going to get rid of him. I think they have a plan of what they feel like he can be. And maybe he's one of those guys that can exceed expectations. I mean, only time will tell. But I want to talk a little bit about the Saints offense and the fact that, hold on, let me backtrack because I lost my train of thought talking to Alfred. So I'm going to read some questions and then my mind will pop back, into what I was about to say. Chanel says, great, Jerry, sitting at the top of a mountain. I just hiked up. Couldn't be better. How are you? What's going on, Chanel? Thank you for being here. Ron says, I agree with you 100%. Winston is the best quarterback on the roster. Okay, yeah, now I remember what I was about to say. Okay, so check this out, man. All right, so for all those people out there that are criticizing Jameis, and they're quick to bring up this 30 touchdown, 30 interception thing, right? I get this all the time, right? Because TJ, you always think you know everything. You know, you're the smartest person in the world, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, man. Look, I like my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think my opinion is better than some. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, I don't feel like I think with my heart like some other people do. I just think that I think with my head, and I do it based on what I see and in the research. Okay, so for all those people out there that's talking about Jameis 30 for 30, I want y'all to understand this, okay? I'm going to make this perfectly clear. When Tom Brady first came to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he was running an offense that was constructed and organized by Bruce Arians. At the beginning, when he was just running that offense, Tom Brady was throwing more interceptions at a higher rate than he had in his entire 20-year career. It wasn't until that bye week and Bruce Arians finally swallowed his pride and said, okay, we're going to make this offense Tom Brady friendly. And after that, they didn't lose a game. I'm going to say that again. Bruce Arians, at the beginning of the season with Tom Brady was throwing interceptions at a higher rate. Tom Brady was on a trajectory of throwing 20-plus interceptions until Byron Leftwich, Bruce Arians got together and made the offense a Tom Brady-friendly offense. Here's the difference. Jameis Winston, you can bet the house, the cars, the kids, and the dog on this point right here. I will bet with any human being. Let's go. I guarantee you that Jameis Winston will not throw more than 25 interceptions in a season with the New Orleans Saints. And you know why? Because Sean Payton never asked a quarterback to do something that he cannot do. I'm going to say that one more time. Sean Payton will never ask a quarterback to do something that he cannot do. Don't believe me? Why was Drew Brees on the sidelines when it was time to throw a deep pass? Because Drew Brees couldn't throw the ball down the field. Who he brought in? He brought in Taysom. He brought in Jameis, right? Taysom Hill. Does Sean Payton ask Taysom Hill to run the same type of offense as Drew Brees? No. He has an offense constructed primarily for Taysom Hill. So trust and believe that Sean Payton is going to make his offense a Jameis Winston friendly offense. I'll give you another example. Teddy Bridgewater in a Saints uniform. When Drew Brees got hurt, Sean Payton allowed Teddy Bridgewater to not only change up the schedule of how quarterbacks meet up, but he sat down with Teddy Bridgewater and asked Teddy point blank, what plays are you comfortable with? And do you know why Who That Nation? And do you know why Jameis Winston critics out there? It's because Sean Payton does not ask a player to do something that he's not comfortable with. He does it and he builds around him. Even the offense that he brings to the table, the offensive schemes and the offensive plays that he brings, he makes sure that that player is in position to succeed. Why do you think they had the Devery Hendersons of the world? Did he ask Devery Henderson to go out there and be running slant routes? No. What did Devery Henderson mostly run? He ran 9 routes, which is streak routes. For those that don't know what a streak is when you run full speed straight up the field and the quarterback throws the ball as far as he can and you go under the ball and you catch it for a touchdown. Same thing with Robert Meacham. What did he ask Robert Meacham to do? Wide receiver screens and streaks up the field. What does he ask Michael Thomas to do? Quick slants and outs. What do they ask Traquan Smith to do? What do they ask him to do? Slant routes. You know what I'm saying? We're working inside of the slot. What do they ask Deontay Harris to do? 9 routes. Wide receiver screens. Jet sweeps. Why? Because those are the plays that those guys are comfortable with, and that is the plays that they find success with. So I want people to understand this. When you say that Jameis Winston is going to fail, you're basically saying that Sean Payton is not capable of allowing Jameis Winston to succeed. Jameis Winston is going to be a much better quarterback in a Saints uniform. And if those scenarios are not good enough for you, somebody please find me some more scenarios that can be proven otherwise. I can tell you about a guy who never had a consistent offensive coordinator. I can tell you about a guy who always, had a different coach from the time that he came there, from Lovie Smith to Dirk Cutter to Bruce Arians. I can tell you about an organization that was in a dismay. I can tell you about a team that didn't have a running back because Doug Martin was always hurt, and after him, there was nobody else. And I seen a team that wasn't really committed and really trying to go for it until number 12, Tom Brady, came into the fold. Go back and look. This isn't me just trying to be right. I'm just saying my logic is not based on what I feel in my heart. In my heart, I love Taysom Hill, and I would love Taysom Hill to be a really good quarterback. I have nothing against Taysom Hill. As a matter of fact, why would I want to have something against Taysom Hill? Why would I want to have something against Taysom? Taysom did nothing to me, and Taysom's success is conjoined with my feelings and emotions as a Saints fan. So why wouldn't I want him to succeed? When Taysom Hill has the ball in his hand, do you think I want him to fumble? Heck no. Do you think I want him to throw an interception? Heck no. Do you think I want him to get hurt? No, because we've seen what happened in the divisional round of the playoffs. All I'm saying is Jameis in a Sean Payton offense gives the Saints a better chance to win. I'm sorry, folks. I hate to upset a lot of these Taysom Hill fans out here, but it's true. He gives them a better chance to win. I mean, because I don't know, man, just the arm talent and everything else to me. All right. Ghostface, thank you very much for the $10 and also being a supporter of the State of the Saints podcast. Says, who that, TJ? Hope you and your family are doing well. Yeah, we're doing fine, man. And thank you so much, Ghostface, for being here. Go ahead and see what you all have to say, man. Answer some of your questions. Piano Dean says, Taysom is perfect in a role he's been in for the last several years. Jameis is the guy. Ren says, Winston definitely will start because Hill can win you a few games, but Hill can't do it over a whole season. Quarterback number 1, Jameis Winston. Quarterback number 2, Ian Book. Quarterback number 3 is Taysom Hill. Jerry, thank you very much, OG, but I have to tend to disagree with that. I feel like Taysom Hill will be the backup because of the knowledge that he has with the team. Ian Book, to me, will be that third string, but he will also get playing time. I look at one of those situations, Jerry, because, in a way, you're right? Because in reality, there is no third string quarterback for the Saints, only on paper, right? Because if you go into a game, let's just say you're playing the Falcons, right? Or you're playing the Panthers. Most likely Taysom Hill is going to be in that Swiss Army role if Jameis is playing. So because they don't want to get away from what Taysom can actually do, I can see a backup like Ian Book coming in the place of Jameis if he gets hurt, so that Taysom won't be out there, being disrupted with what he can actually bring to the table. So to me, I don't feel like there will be a number 3. I guess in a way, Jerry, you're right. Except I feel like there won't be a number 3 quarterback only on paper, because I feel like both guys will have an opportunity to play if quarterback number 1 goes down. I mean, that's fair. All right. Nick says, Jameis putting that work in. He's going to surprise a lot of people. Well, I don't feel like it'll be a surprise. Look, I just think that he did something that most quarterbacks in this lifetime you haven't seen them do. Like most of the time, I mean, quarterbacks used to throw a lot of interceptions back in the day. If you're like my age, you remember that, man. Like, because there were only a few elite quarterbacks back in those days. So, you had some trash out there, and you had some guys that were throwing 20 plus interceptions in the season. The thing about it is, I mean, the league is so quarterback friendly now that it's such an anomaly right now. But it ain't like it's just so far-fetched. It's not like it's just so far-fetched that a guy can't throw multiple, 25, 30 interceptions. I mean, I've seen that done before. I've seen some hot garbage take the field. I mean, maybe some of you younger Saints fans out there where the rules were kind of laxed and you couldn't touch a quarterback. And basically you had to lay down a Snuggie and put it across their shoulder and put a pillow down, like in order for you to hit them these days. But back in the other days, like the as my grandfather say, the olden days, those quarterbacks, man, they weren't very good, man. A few of them, and they threw a lot of interceptions. Brother Samuel Scott says Ian Book will take over sooner than later. Jameis will start. Well, I mean, look, I like Ian Book. You know what I'm saying? I think that Ian Book is a competitor. I like the toughness. I like the tenacity. I love the energy that he brings. But it's going to take some time, man. Like I said, I just think that I think we are so spoiled as Saints fans that our judgment is a little bit clouded. I'm not trying to criticize anybody because I feel the same way. When you go through life and you rarely have any problems whatsoever, sometimes you take life for granted. If you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you don't know what it feels like to be poor. A lot of you started to be Saints fans or remember the Saints only when they were successful. And I'm not saying that you all are fair weather. Some of you were just young. Like if you're in your 20s, like I want people to understand this, right? So Drew Brees was with the Saints for 15 years. So if you're like 10 years old, Drew Brees is like the only memory that you had of the New Orleans Saints because you're like a 25-year-old man right now. So all you remember is like great quarterback play. But you know what I'm saying? This offense is really hard, like to understand. You have wide receivers out here, man, that's talking about how they can't play fast because of all the offensive concepts they have to know. It's going to take a quarterback some time, even whoever it is, like Taysom, Jameis. Like I don't feel like these guys are going to fully understand all of the offensive concepts. I think it takes years to master that because I know this because even Drew Brees has said that he forgot some of the terminology throughout the years. So he's the one that's out there. He's the godfather. He is the standard. He's the blueprint of what we feel any other quarterback that comes to the New Orleans Saints now, he is the standard. So if they're not playing up to Drew Brees standards, then we're going to look at him like, man, he ain't Brees. So it's going to take some time, man. I'm not wishing bad on him. I just do not see it. Not this year. Not this year. I cannot see him just having a full grasp of the offensive playbook to a point where he can go out there and run it. It takes time. I mean, guys have been in this system for a very long time. Like these not a very long time, but a year at least for them to be able to run the Saints offense. That's Bridgewater, that's Taysom, that's McCown when he was here, right? Martin Rudell when he played, you know what I'm saying, for when the Saints had some things wrapped up. I mean, it's a tough offense. It's tough. That's the reason why when you see some of these young guys that come through like a Garrett Grayson or like a Ryan Griffin, like it don't pan out because the offense is just so tough and the terminology is so hard to grasp and all these offensive concepts because like I said, I mean, most teams have 6-7 different rotations. Saints have 14, 15, like that's insane. That is insane, man. Jules, hey, good afternoon, man. What's going on, Jules? Appreciate you being here, brother. Mario said Jameis is putting a page out of Drew's book. We're working out with wide receivers during the offseason. Remember the lockout year, Drew paid for everybody to go to San Diego and work out. Yeah, I remember that, man. But, it's good that Jameis is actually showing some initiative. I think that it would only fuel the fire of skeptics if he didn't. And I think that this guy is taking it very, very seriously because in all actuality, this is Jameis Winston's last chance. If he would have went to the Jets and he would have been a backup for Sam Darnold and he didn't pan out, then maybe he'll get a second chance. But when you have an offensive mastermind, whether you like Sean Payton's play calling or not, whether you question some of his fourth quarter play calling, and even in the playoffs. One thing you can say about Sean Payton is he is one of the brightest minds in the NFL when it comes to the offense. And a lot of people look at Sean Payton as this offensive guru, whether you do or not. All right. So if he can't perform in a Sean Payton offense, if he can't get his career together in a Sean Payton offense, it's going to be hard for any other organization to look at him the same way. Fair or not? Fair or not? This is his last opportunity to me for anybody to seriously consider him as a starting quarterback. And to me, from what I see, he is really taking this seriously, whether you are a fan of his or not. And I'm not just making this the Jameis Winston show. I'm just not, and I'm also not trying to convince anybody to change their feelings about Taysom Hill. I want to make that very clear. Okay, the State of the Saints podcast. Okay, I'm behind this mic, and my voice is a little bit louder than others, right? Because I'm main one talking, but I am in no way trying to change anybody's mind. If you feel like Taysom is your guy, he's your guy. But I'm only saying this because I feel that Jameis Winston is a better fit. Not to poo-poo on Taysom. That's just the way I feel. Taysom should be on the field 100% of the time, and he just be a transition emotional weapon, wide receiver, tight end, slot, quarterback, 5 receptions, 5 rushes, 5 passes every game. It could be deadly. That's a good point right there. And John, that goes back to my original point when I started the show. Why would you want to be a starting quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest. He would be on a short leash. If he does some of the things that he did last season, there's no way in the world Sean Payton to parade him out there. It's just as simple as that. First off, he honored his promise, which is if something was to happen to Drew, he would get the opportunity. That was what his contract conditions were. That was one of his contract conditions when he signed. So Sean Payton uphold his promise. Now, if he goes out there and he's lining guys up the wrong way, he's running guys the wrong way, he's late with his timing, he's not throwing screen passes to a guy that always catches the ball in Alvin Kamara, trust and believe. Like Sandman Sims at the Showtime at the Apollo, he's going to come out there and he's going to yank that boy off the stage. It's just as simple as that, right? So why would you? When you know that you're going to play. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. I guess he can give it to old college try. And I just thought about this. This is a win-win situation for Taysom Hill. This is win. Do y'all understand this? For all my Taysom Hill fans out there, this is a win-win situation for this dude. If he doesn't start, he's still going to play. How many quarterbacks can say that? How many quarterbacks can go out there and say, even if I don't become a starting quarterback, I still hit the field? This is win-win. This dude is playing with house money right now. I just thought about that. Do y'all understand this guy is playing with house money right now? Seriously. Anywhere it goes, he is going to be playing this 2021 season. Jameis can't say that. Ian Book can't say that. Trevor Siemian can't say that. This is win for Taysom Hill. Wow, man. I just thought about that, man. Ain't that something though? He gonna play regardless. He's gonna get opportunity regardless, man. That's just thought about that. T says he went on and looked inside that black bag Brady dropped off at the house he wasn't supposed to be at. Otherwise, he was on the same pad as Winston with the interception. Yeah, that's true. It's true. Here's the thing. Bruce Arians, everywhere he went, every quarterback that he coached always had a high rate of interceptions. It's a fact. Go take a look. Everybody from Peyton Manning to Ben Roethlisberger, everybody, man, even Tom Brady. Like I say, he was on a trajectory. He was on a trajectory to throw 20 interceptions. Everybody was talking about how bad Carson Wentz was playing, right? Carson Wentz was first when it came to interceptions, and guess who was number 2? Tom Brady. Bruce Arians change the offense to a more New England type offense, and that's when the Buccaneers started to find their success. If Bruce Arians was, even though, he's extremely cocky, very confident, and believes in the system, if he didn't swallow his pride, we probably wouldn't be talking about the Buccaneers being world champions right now. So there's that little nugget. Donovan says, Taysom is wonderful in his role as a gadget player. Jameis, best chance. Yannick says, just give the ball to Elvin, bro. Can't go wrong with AK. I agree with you on that one. Derek's giving a shout out to Pammy. Pammy giving a shout out to Jerry. And Ghostface giving a shout out to Pammy. Kim, what's going on? Says Sean Payton is a mastermind. Yeah, and I don't think people give Sean Payton the credit that he deserves for being a really good coach. I just think we fell in love with the greatness of Drew Brees, and sometimes we neglect the front office of the New Orleans Saints, including myself, the coaching of the New Orleans Saints, and their ability to win in spite any situation. Any other team, maybe a handful of teams that would have went through some of the situations the Saints have went through over the past couple of years would have folded like a cheap tent. You can arguably say that the New Orleans Saints team got better when Drew Brees left the field. Think about this. Your best player, right? Your franchise player, your Hall of Fame quarterback leaves the field, and everybody goes out there and they step it up a notch, and they play better than when he was on the field. You're not going to find that. You're not going to find that in many organizations. That tells me right there, number one, you got a bunch of guys that got character on your team. You got guys that got pride, that believe they can win in spite of any situation. And you don't get that if you don't have a coach that puts these guys in positions to believe that, to buy into that system. So many coaches flake out, you know what I'm saying, and fan out due to the fact that the players do not believe in that coach. These players believe that as long as they got Sean Payton as their coach, they believe in this guy's system. And they buy into what he's selling. Now, I mean, that's pretty remarkable, man. A lot of people can't do that. That's a true definition of a really good coach, and that's a true definition of a really good team. Malcolm says Saints signed Easter Winston Jr. Okay. I didn't hear about that. I get some more news on that, but thank you, Malcolm, man. I really do appreciate that telling us about that signing. I'll look it up in a few minutes, but thank you, Malcolm. I appreciate that, man. Check it out, y'all. For those that's looking at this, go ahead and put some of this information in there, man, so we can talk about it. Dietrich says, honestly, who that fam? It doesn't matter who we have at the quarterback, rather is Winston or Hill. We will score points and have an offense regardless. Yeah. Once again, because of Sean Payton, putting players in positions to succeed. T said, I actually miss Luke McCown. He used to look like Drew out there. Hated to see him go. Luke McCown, look, the only thing I remember about him is when he had that Verizon commercial talking about being a backup. And I ain't gonna lie, he played pretty doggone good in that Carolina Panthers game when Drew went out with that oblique injury back in the day. He had about 300 yards. He was looking real good, man. And last play of the game, Josh Norman caught that interception when he tried to throw the ball to the back of the end zone of Brandon Cooks. Josh Norman intercepted the ball, but he looked pretty doggone good in that game. So, yeah, I got to give credit, man. Luke McCown did his thing. He did his thing, man. Like, Luke McCown, I could have thought of some words back up, and it would not surprise me in a couple of years you see the McCown brothers coaching in the National Football League, man. At least Josh will. I know that for a fact. Cast a Legend, thank you very much for being a supporter of the State of the Saints podcast. Says only way Ian Book starts if he comes in looking like Russell Wilson. Other than that, he's in insurance and even slated to make the team. TJ, he's in competition with Trevor Siemian. Yeah, that's true. But I really feel like the Saints are going to rather put him on a practice squad. They're gonna find a play for him. Sean Payton liked that guy, right? Look, I'm not buying what Sean Payton said in the press conference. He was like, I think Rich Eisen brought that up, me comparing myself to Ian Book. Nah, bro, you said that. You didn't said it, man. You said it. You tripped up and you took the bait that Rich Eisen put out there. Congratulations, you know what I'm saying? Rich Eisen, that's why he's the best. You know what I'm saying? He can get that information out of folks. But look, they like Ian Book. They like him a lot. And I can see why. You know, Ian Book is a winner. This guy's a winner, man. Like, I don't understand, like, why this guy even was there in the fourth round. And then probably if he was 2 inches taller, he wouldn't have been. Right? So, yeah. And Saints could possibly have a steal. So you never know. I mean, this guy could come in, balling out. Could be a Russell Wilson situation. I'm not putting a ceiling on Ian Book. I'm not. Because we, like, me, as hard as it may seem that I'm going for Jameis, it's not a guarantee that he might work out. Yes, I said that. It's not a guarantee that he's going to work out. You know, so you got to make sure that you have some type of backup plan. You know, if it doesn't work out, I mean, do I believe he can do it? Yeah. But am I 100% confident? Am I like sure the sky is blue and the grass is green? Absolutely not. I mean, how could I? You know, and I think Jameis would echo that sentiments. Like, that's one thing about him. He a realist. He understands what he is. He understands what people think about him. What did he say at that football camp? He said, I went from being the number one pick to everybody laughing at me. So he knows people making fun of him. He knows people not buying into what he's selling. He has to go out there and prove it. You know what I'm saying? This is a St. Louis type game we playing here. You got to show me. You got to show me, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how people work. You know what I'm saying? This is St. Louis mind frames around here. You got to show me. Show me. And then, you know, when you show me, then I believe you. Right? They say when somebody show you who they are, believe them. If you're trying to change the narrative of what people think about it, show me. And I'll believe you. But thank you all very much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. And the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by manscaped.com. And ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that the State of the Saints podcast is now being sponsored from the ongoing future by manscaped.com. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Give yourself a round of applause. All those individuals out there, you know, buying Manscaped products. Everybody out there, you know, supporting the State of the Saints podcast. Manscaped.com has decided to extend our partnership a little bit longer, and I hold that all to you all. Okay. And I want to say thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. This is my first endorsement deal. You know, like it was mostly on a trial type basis, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they want to show you that you are worth investing in. So, you know, all the people out there that helped me out, you know what I'm saying? The State of the Saints podcast is now being endorsed by Manscaped, not just being sponsored, but they endorse us. You know what I'm saying? So thank you all so much. And today, there's a new product that is making its way to your doorstep if you order today. The Lawnmower 4.0. Okay, the Lawnmower 4.0, you've probably seen at the beginning of the show promoting the Lawnmower 3.0. The 4.0 had just come out on today. So if you go to manscaped.com and you use the promo code State of Saints, you will get 20% off on the Lawnmower 4.0. It's a great product. You know, I had it for a couple weeks now. And if you like the Lawnmower 3.0, for all those people that purchased it, you'll love the Lawnmower 4.0. It's much better. You get a more closer shave. I mean, it's water resistant, better lighting. You'll enjoy it. Okay, Lawnmower 4.0. Go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints, and you will save 20% off on the Lawnmower 4.0. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all very much. I really do appreciate it. So not only are we being sponsored by Manscaped, we're being endorsed by Manscaped. Okay. You know, so thank y'all so much. Let's go ahead and move on. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. I apologize if I'm missing some people, but I just want to make sure that, I try to get to everybody. And I said quite a bit. Oh, yeah. And also while I'm thinking about it, for those that don't know, I actually, someone from Real Sports with Brian Gumble reached out to me. For those that may not know, Real Sports with Brian Gumble is being shown on HBO. And they're doing a documentary. And they asked that they can use an episode of the State of the Saints podcast for that documentary. I mean, I was extremely shocked. I was like, man, what the heck going on here? But for a minute I thought it was a joke, but it's in the works right now, man. I got contacted by the producer of Real Sports with Brian Gummel, so I don't know what clip they're going to use just yet. I don't know how much of the footage they're going to use, but later on this month, they're doing a documentary about Amy Just, the reporter, and they want to use some content. You remember Amy Just? Some of you probably remember she was a guest on the State of the Saints podcast. So that's the footage that's going to be used, man. I don't know what's being said or what it's all about, but I'm just proud to have that opportunity. So State of the Saints podcast, man, add another notch into the belt. We're going to be on network television. We're going to be streaming on HBO Now forever and all times. All right. Y'all, you can't tell me nothing. All right. You can't tell me nothing. Move. Don't roll up on me cursing and talking crazy. Nah. If I see that, Jules, I'm gonna have to pass it up, man. You already know we're a family-friendly show here. We'll let a hell or a damn, depends on the situation, pop off, but nothing too outrageous. Kim says, why do people try to grade a draft based on names before a snap is even played? I don't know, Kim. I'm a little guilty of that too, Kim. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I fall in love with the name, you know what I'm saying, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know a guy, I get a little upset because, especially if I feel like a guy, is a little bit better. And maybe I don't know that the other guy is better. I feel like that's unfair because we've never seen him take a snap. But I just think that it's just human nature, right? I mean, subconsciously, that stuff goes into the back of our mind. Mel Kiper, Ty McShay, Bucket Brooks, all these guys telling us, oh, this is a guy's a can't miss. Oh, he do this well. Oh, I don't think you need to select this guy. You like, all of a sudden, like you start listening to that stuff and you start believing what they saying. And then when your time rolling around, you see that guy still on the clock. You like, man, come on, let's get it. So I get it. I understand it. But, I mean, you're absolutely right, man. We should wait and see what these guys actually have. So I 100% agree with that. No argument here. Jameis Winston was on the practice squad with the Rams last year. Okay. Well, I mean, he went to a really good team, really good offensive coach in Sean McVay. So we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting wide receiver practice at training camp. It's gonna be a good wide receiver competition, I should say. Kim Michelle, best comment of the day. Look how many first round quarterbacks was a bust. Spade Davis, yes. I mean, Kim be on it, man. Kim know her stuff. I give it that. Always come through with the logic. Always, sees the glass half full instead of half empty. Definitely a good point there. Goldface says, congratulations, TJ. Appreciate that, man. Tyrell says, should the Saints trade for Julio Jones? He will elevate the offense as long as he's healthy. No, I think that ship is sailed. Not to say that he's not a great player still. I just feel like the Saints, they don't need him. Mario says, great job, host. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. If Sean Payton and the organization believe in Jameis, why would a fan question that? You do know how much knowledge and talent Payton has an eye for. I agree. But that's the thing, man. Like, we just want to win as fans, right? We just want to win. I get it. Like, I'm not knocking nobody for feeling the way that they do. I just want people to give the guy a chance. That's it. I wouldn't want anybody to judge me based on my shortcomings or my failures. Like, you learn from those failures. Like, well, self-respecting human being will learn from their failures and try to become better, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, think of how many people out there, you know, that were drug addicts, alcoholics, womanizers, manizers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like liars, thieves. You know what I'm saying? Like, been incarcerated. You turn your life around, you become a better version of yourself. Do you want people to keep on judging you every time you walk in the room? You want somebody to give you an opportunity to change the narrative. Wasn't always the person that I am today. I was not. I told my wife the other night, me and her were talking on the phone. I said, I'm glad that I met you when I did. Because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be able to appreciate you. And you probably would have thought I was a little bit of an a-hole. It takes time, right? It takes trial and error in order for you to develop as a person, as a human being. How many of us, you know what I'm saying, went into that house when we shouldn't have? How many of us went over there to that crib when we shouldn't have? How many of us went to that store with that dude, you know what I'm saying, we shouldn't have went with? How many of us got in that car that we shouldn't have got in? How many of us been on that corner when we shouldn't have been on that corner? How many of us, you know what I'm saying, like been in these situations? But we don't want people to judge us for this. We look back on those moments and say, yeah, they define, you know what I'm saying? They were a part of us, but they don't define us. All I'm saying is don't let this man's shortcomings define him, especially when those shortcomings happen in a completely different organization. If that was the case, then we should have never gave Drew Brees a chance, because Drew Brees wasn't the Drew Brees he was in New Orleans, he was in San Diego. Drew Brees got benched by the late, great Marty Schottenheimer because he thought that Drew Brees didn't have it. But look at Drew Brees now. Surefire Hall of Famer. One of the most well-respected quarterbacks in NFL history. Arguably the greatest quarterback to ever put on a pair of cleats. In the eyes of Saint fans, he is the greatest quarterback of all time. Now, if we would have just based that on him getting benched or the fact that, you know, him having a bad rotator cuff, oh, man, he washed, man. Look, man, what we doing, man? What we getting this 6-foot-tall, washed, noodle-on quarterback for? But look at him now. You talk about Drew Brees in New Orleans, somebody be ready to cut you. All I'm saying is give this guy an opportunity to change the narrative. I mean, I feel like that's if he's given the opportunity, allow him to change the narrative. Treat this situation like you would want somebody to treat your situation. Pretty fair, right? Let Julio stay where he at. He don't want to come in the same division with us. I agree with that, man. When you play for a rival team for so long, man, it's instilled in you. That's like if you played football for Jackson State, transferring to Alcorn. Like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, or vice versa. You don't want to do that, right? If you go to Grambling and you ain't about to transfer to no Southern, what? Like, man, I'd be doggone if I wear that powder blue. Be doggone I wear that black and gold. Are you crazy? Are you out your mind? I'm not doing that. You know, so I understand it, man. TJ, congratulations. Who that nation? Thank you, man. Be kind. Thank you so much for being a supporter as well. I appreciate that. Mighty Mouse says, I still be judging for who I was in the past, and it's unfortunate, and that is for my own family. But you are right. I got my life in check and has been a better me than I ever have been. Well, Mighty Mouse, that's good to hear. And, you know, here's the thing, man. You know, the people that you have the hardest time convincing are family members. I'm going to say that again. The hardest people that you're ever going to convince are family members. And I think it's because family members have a harder time seeing you outside of how others see you. Like, it's hard to do, man. It's hard for like family members to buy into what you're doing or buy into a new version of you. They're skeptical. They go in with surgeon gloves, you know, and it's unfair. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like who knows you better than family, right? Family knows you better than anybody. They know you. They know what you're about to do. They know what you're about to say before you say it. So if there is a change, they should definitely see it. But here's the thing, Mighty Mouse. If you know that you changed, the people that you love the most, the people that you value the most, give you that opportunity, then my friend, you already made the transformation. And it's up to those individuals that don't buy into what you're doing. It's their loss because they're losing out on meeting a new, better version of you. Period. You know, and the reality is you'll never change some of those people's mind. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because that's their battle they have to fight. You continue to fight your battles to move forward, to be a better person, to be a stronger person. And even though you turn the corner, I mean, there's still more street, man. It's way more street, right? You turn that corner, you go down that block and turn another corner. Get, you know what I'm saying, and start to elevate yourself. You know, never put limitations on yourself. Always believe in yourself. Always feel like there's, like, even though you feel like you're the better version of yourself, trust and believe there's an even better version of yourself. You know, so that's for all my people out there, man. Don't let nobody define you. You know, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, man, you used to do this back in the day. Say, yeah, I know. But look at me now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a family man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm a brother. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm an important part of my community. I'm knee deep in this thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting my business. I'm starting my brand. You know what I'm saying? I'm working hard. I'm grinding every single day. You know, the people that are around me that I work with are respecting me. They respect my hustle. They respect my grind. They respect my focus. That's what's important. Because, when you're elevating, think about this, man. You ever get on a plane, you know what I'm saying, the plane take off, you start going up into the air, things start getting smaller and smaller, right? So if they're still on the ground, eventually, like any plane, you're going to see that plane for a minute, but it's going to go into the clouds and you'll no longer be able to see it. So keep soaring, all my friends out there, all right? Let's move on, man. Joseph says, tell that to roll it off. Kim says, who that? Ricky says, TJ, do you think the Saints should bring in a veteran wide receiver? If so, who? Golden Tate. Golden Tate, I still don't understand why Golden Tate's still out there. I mean, it's not his fault he played with Daniel Jones, right? I mean, Daniel Jones is not very good right now. If he comes to the New Orleans Saints, I think the Saints have themselves a surefire third down wide receiver. Dude, a beast. So Golden Tate, I mean, no hesitation. He's my choice. Goldface Griller, Damian says, who that? Also giving a shout out to the OG Jared Poor. Pammy says, amen, TJ. B-Con says, I'm so glad no social media recorded me growing up. Oh, my goodness. We all be in trouble, right? Social media was at its, infancy around the time when I was in college. Like, I was in college during a time when only college students can be on Facebook. So I think about 2005, right? That's when, only college students can be on Facebook. And then Facebook got a life of its own when your mama started popping up and your auntie and your dad and them, but I remember that. But now, social media would have called a lot of us up, and camera phones. Come on now, y'all know. I don't talk to anyone like that 7th Ward mess. Football season is over. I know what's happening. TJ, as of the day right now, if you had to predict our record for this year, what would it be? I'm going to say 11-6. I'll say 11-6, something like that. Caleb says, what did I miss, TJ? I just joined. Well, Caleb, the topic of conversation was about Jameis Winston. And is he the foregone conclusion as being the starting quarterback? That was what topic of conversation was. But thank you for being here. Better late than never. Black and Gold Breakdown Podcast says Saints are on the move, signing some depth. The sudden Smith signing comes from the fear of Alex Orma testing positive for COVID-19 like Mike Burton did last season. Well, I mean, look, they dotting their I's and crossing their T's, man. And that's an important thing. The Saints always are making sure that they do their due diligence and making sure that they're not behind the eight ball. I mean, we already know that the league ain't trying to get the Saints absolutely nothing. They're going to try to do everything that they possibly can to make life hell for Saints fans and Saints players as a staff and an M&F and crew, a mother-loving crew. You know what I'm saying? We already know, man. The thing about it is, like, they ain't trying to get the Saints nothing. So the Saints going to have to think a little bit differently than some teams, because I swear it's like everybody else playing in the NFL and the Saints are playing in some other league of their own, because I never seen a team get as much get so many penalties, like, and be under a microscope like this team is. So yeah, they better do it. They better do it. Derek says, what's taking us so long to make cap room? We always drag our feet in free agency. Probably because they feel like they don't really need those many free agents. And number two, I think the Saints are comfortable with what they have, and it's probably best that the Saints aren't as desperate as we want them to be sometimes. I think we want the Saints to be hella desperate. We want the Saints to be like like a guy who lost all his money in Vegas and trying to get himself back to California, straight up desperation. But I'm glad that they're not desperation. There's not desperation when it comes to this organization. I mean, it shows us right there. If you're cool head Luke, you make better decisions. Think about this. You make the worst decisions of your life when you're panicking, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you look back when logic set in, like, man, I don't think I should have made that decision. So with that being said, I'm just glad that the New Orleans Saints aren't as desperate as we want them to be sometimes. Do you see us making the playoffs? Because I do. Caleb, I do. I don't think the Saints will miss the playoffs. That's like something just catastrophic happened. Like they just start losing players left and right. Knock on wood when I say that. Anthony says, what if Taysom Hill wins the starting job? We are paying him a lot of bread. Well, Anthony, it depends on what you're looking at, paying a lot of bread. I broke this down before. You got to look at it. Taysom Hill does not just play quarterback. And if you add up all the positions that Taysom Hill plays, it adds up to that amount of money. So imagine how much money you're actually saving by having a guy that can do all these different things. So some people can play, man, 16 million, 16, 12 million, 12 million. Come on, man. If you go out there and you get yourself a special teams player for a couple of years, you go out there and get yourself a tight end for a couple of years, you go out there and get yourself a quarterback for a couple of years, you go out there and get a backup running back for a couple of years, trust and believe that's going to be more than $12 million. So in a way that the Saints are really saving money. This guy is the Costco of the National Football League. He is the Costco, okay? Because you're getting all this in bundles right now, right? You go to Costco, right? Some of y'all got a Costco card or a Sam's card, right? You go in there, you get stuff by the bundle, right? Because you're saving money in the long run. And that's exactly what the Saints are doing. So you got Taysom Hill doing all these different things. Guess what? You're saving money. Because now you don't have to go out there and get yourself a running back. You don't have to go out there and get yourself a guy on special teams. You ain't got to go out there and get an extra tight end. You don't have to get a backup quarterback. Guess why? Because you got all that rolling into one. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Who that nation? You just went to Costco. Slim says, so glad the Saints didn't trade up in the draft like Mike Dicker did years ago. Yeah, me too. And I mean, for what they were trying to ask for, I'm glad they didn't too. I've been saying, TJ, I know we have Troutman, but he hasn't proven anything yet. That tight end position leaves a lot to be desired. I think we should sign another vet tight end, just my opinion. I agree with that. I think Nick Vernett, much as I like him as a blocker, I don't think that they should just stop right there. Ghostface Griller said, no lie. I went to the license plate office here in North Carolina, and they had a bunch of Falcon license plate 50% off. That's too much money. Jules says, kill them with kindness and not the curse word. Definitely. I agree. Out of all the undrafted free agent players, who do you see actually making the team and having a role? That's a good question. I would have to say, like the wide, not the wide receivers, the cornerback. I can see Trill Williams making the team because of his length, his size. I can see him like maybe playing on special teams, as a gunner. Trying to see who else. I would have to see. I can see I can see the offensive lineman making the team. I can also see the wide receiver, the short guy who's who's a kick return specialist. I can see him actually making the team as well. I can't think of his brother's name, but that's what I see. That's what I see. But definitely Trill Williams, I can see him making the team, not just because of his name. I'm a little biased, I ain't gonna lie. Name like Trill Williams, don't you want him to make the team? But I just think that his length and his size, I mean, if he can go out there and play decent, I think the team will keep him because you feel like they can build something with him. Anthony said, "Who that?" Kim says, "Hi." Ghostface laughing. I don't agree about Trotman not proving anything yet. He got put behind Breeze, go-to guy, and Jared Cook, and the only concern was not being a good blocker. He was the number one blocking among all tight ends. Yeah, Black and Gold Breakdown podcast. I mean, you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. The dude only had issues when it came to blocking. Like, we got excited about Adam Troutman because he was a pass-catching tight end. So imagine this guy learn and develop as a blocker. You already know he can catch. I mean, I'm pretty excited. I think the Saints should try to go after Tyler Eifert and Golden Tate. Mighty Mouse, that's a good point. I like Tyler Eifert a lot, but the best ability is availability. And I feel like with Tyler Eifert, you're going to find yourself being really frustrated as a Saints fan because when he's on the field, he plays really well, right? He's hell when he's well, as they say. I don't know why they're so funny. He's hell when he's well. But, yeah, I mean, when he's on the field, he plays really good, but he's always hurt. And, you know, that's a red flag, man. Best ability is availability. Lawrence Wood at 5'9" is a cornerback. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ryan. I couldn't think of the guy's name, but thank you so much. Do you think Ian Book or Trevor Siemian is a quarterback number 3 for a short stretch? Yeah. I don't know if you just got here, Kinrasa, but I said I don't feel like the Saints have a number 3 quarterback regardless, because if Jameis ends up starting, right? Okay, let me rephrase that. If Jameis is the starter, then the Saints don't have a number 2. If Taysom starts, then they will have a number 2. And I say that because if Jameis becomes the starter, Taysom will be in the Swiss Army role, and the Saints will have a guy serving as a backup just because in game situations, Taysom continues to do what he is supposed to do throughout that game and what the game plan is all about. It's kind of like with that 49ers game. When you seen Jameis, they put Jameis in a game so Taysom can stick to the script. So I feel like if Jameis is the quarterback, the starter, then it won't be a number 3 because whoever comes in will be the backup to Jameis. And Taysom will still be on the field. So to me, there won't be. It would be a 1, a 2, but no 3. That makes sense? I hope that makes sense. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I can't say a guy is a number 3. A number 3 quarterback is like you don't have a chance in the world to play 9 times out of 10, right? That's what I look at as a number 3. Not a guy, if the starting quarterback gets hurt, he comes in. That's a 2. And with Taysom doing his Swiss Army roll, I don't see it. I don't see it. Are the Saints going to give Keith Washington Jr. a chance? Seems like dude unforgotten. Well, I think they're gonna give him a chance, Damian. But the thing about it is, man, dude need a steak sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, everything I heard. I mean, even Bobby Abel, when he was on the show, he talked about Keith Washington. Okay, not the singer Keith Washington. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Not him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't talking about that Keith Washington. No, but we're talking about cornerback Keith Washington. All right. But he had the size, he had the length, but dude was just so skinny, man. Like, you know, we don't need Corey Brewer, you know what I'm saying, to be playing. We don't need Corey Brewer to be playing quarterback, all right? We need somebody that got a little meat on their bones, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no wide receiver out there stiff arming the dude out there to the 3rd row, all right? So I think that he was good at West Virginia. I think that he was extremely talented there, but here's the thing. You got to be able to put on a little muscle mass, man. All right. I don't need to believe that I can blow you down with a gust of wind. I think that has something to do with it. But I like to see his year 2 body, see if he developed, gained a little weight. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen him since. He kind of flies under the radar. He's not really big on social media. I don't really see him that much. Maybe y'all do. I really don't follow him like that. But I just think that the guy needs to gain a little weight and come in with a little bit more focus. I'm going to read a few more, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Damien says, I disagree about the Adam Trautman proving something. I know he has potential, but it's different when you're the man. We will find out this year. Hopefully it works. Well, I think it'll work out, Damien. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion on that. I can understand that. It's the same thing with Jameis, right? I said we got to have that St. Louis mentality. You got to show me. So he falls in that category for you. I'm not mad at that. Key Sweat. Keith Washington. You don't remember the episode of Martin? Like when when Gina was friends with him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like Keith Washington that was on that show when him and Gina was singing and Martin was in the background crying. That was funny, man. Yeah, shouts out to Keith Washington. The host with that Ric Flair shirt on, 16-time champ. Yeah, man. Look, this is one of my favorite shirts right here. All right. I tell people all the time, every morning, man, I look at a Ric Flair promo to get me started. Ric Flair, you know what I'm saying? Like if you can't get charged up with a Ric Flair promo, there's something wrong with you. All right. Not Corey Brewer. Yeah. Yeah, y'all know Corey Brewer, man. Corey Brewer about 6'9", about 150 pounds. Caleb says, I think Taysom could possibly have a shot at a starter. I do too. The only downfall with that is you take him out of his Swiss Army knife role. That's true. That's true. Washington is on IG. He's 195 pounds now. Well, that's good. That's good. Because I was a little nervous, okay? I mean, look. I think that was the only knock he had. I think they needed him to be a little stronger. Like he still had that little boy body. You got to have a grown man body out there going up against those tough physical wide receivers. Ryan says if they don't believe Trautman is ready, they wouldn't have got rid of all the others. I agree with that, Ryan. That's a good point. Saints are a strategic team. That is Ric Flair. Yeah, that's Ric Flair, man. The nature boy. Kiss stealing. Woo! Willing Dillon. Limousine riding. Jet flying. Son of a gun. And I'm having a hard time keeping these Gators down. Woo! All right. The St. Louis mentality says, y'all need me. Yeah, we definitely need you. You can find me in St. Louis where the gun play rains all day. Nah. Mario says, Martin, Pretty Ricky episode was funny. Ricky Fontaine. Pretty Ricky is what they called him. Damien says, nothing against Trautman, TJ. I'm just a guy I like to see people prove themselves. And Damien, I have no problem with that, man. Look, I already told you, man. Like, look, what makes us all special is we have opinions, okay? Some people may think completely differently from others, and I have no problem with that, okay? That is not my role here on the State of the Saints podcast. I don't know why people feel that way. Why people feel like I want to change people's mind. I just give my opinion. Like I don't, and sometimes if I don't agree, I'll just basically just say why I don't, But anyway, look, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, man. And you have a right to feel that way. Hey, this is a game built on results. And if we haven't seen nothing except some good blocking, I mean, that's cool. If there were 82 when we ain't ask tight ends to do too much. But this is the modern day times, right? We expect the tight ends to be as productive as a Kelsey or Gronkowski or, a Kittle. Like that's what we want. And that's what he presents himself as. And that's what I feel like he can be. So, yeah, but he got to prove it to you. I agree with that one. Ronald said, do you think Paulson or Devo starts day one or Patrick Robinson? I think they both start. Patrick Robinson on the slot, Paulson on the left side. You heard it here first. That's what I feel. What happened to Dwayne Washington? He's still here, right? He on special teams. He's still with the team. Ric Flair. I kill for a chance to meet TJ Jones. No, Rick. I kill for a chance. Well, I ain't killing nobody, but I would love to meet Ric Flair. Thank you for the $2, Rick. Okay. Demetrius said Jameis Winston will have a great season. I like the optimism, Demetrius. I think we all wishing him the best. Well, I think even the skeptics have to wish him well if he's the starter. Who that SOTS family? I am cooking a meatball stew and missed the show. God dog. You think Book will pass Taysom by regular season and be quarterback number 2? Charles, no, I don't. I feel like Taysom will be on the depth chart, the number 2 quarterback. But I think that Ian Book will get opportunity to play if something was to happen to Jameis if he is the starter. And I think that probably the following week, Taysom won't be the starting quarterback and Ian Book will be the backup. I don't argue with people. Well, I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Pretty Ricky, I remember that. I really think we need a number 2 receiver. Another weapon. We lost Emmanuel Sanders. We could have drafted Elijah Moore or Terrence Marshall Jr. I tell you what, by the Saints not going out here and getting themselves another wide receiver, they really have a lot of confidence in these young guys. But we'll see. It's not like these guys aren't talented, folks. Like, that's the thing. It's not like they ain't talented. They're extremely talented. Like, these guys are like really talented. And I think we have to take into account, and some people gonna get mad at me, but we got to take into account the limitations of Drew Brees towards the twilight of his career. We have to. Like, we got to. He said it himself, how he didn't have all the tools in his toolbox. And when you don't have all the tools in your toolbox, sometimes you're compensating, other guys are going to lack. We hear that all the time, that the wide receiver is a dependable position, right? You're dependent on the success of the quarterback and what the quarterback can do to put the ball in your hands. And if these guys do certain things well, I mean, and they can't do them because of the limitations of Drew at the twilight of his career, how can we fully evaluate these guys and know what we actually have? I mean, come on, man. Come on, folks. Like, let's see what these guys have with a guy who can actually sling the ball. Let's see what these guys can do when they can go yard, when they can take the top off the defense, when they can stretch when they can stretch this thing out. Let's see what we have first before we start thinking, oh, we need to get this person and that person. I'm not losing sleep over the wide receiver position because guess what? I've seen the Saints go in a game not having Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. And guess what? You had Callaway step up. You had Harris step up. You had Traquan step up. You had Jawan Johnson catch a pass. You had Lil Jordan Humphreys catch a pass versus the Kansas City Chiefs. These guys are young, but I feel like, they're capable. And I think that the Saints are looking at that. Let's get these guys the opportunity before we start looking at elsewhere, okay? Let's see what these guys have when you got yourself a young gun out at the helm, all right? Let's see. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can go out here and you can get yourself another wide receiver and, he can come in for namesake. But there's no guarantee that this guy's going to be able to perform at a high level. So I want to give these guys a chance. I'm not going to say this ain't going to work because I do not know. I do know this, man. If you're a wide receiver, you do things really well. There's certain things that you do well and there's certain things that you don't. I know I got some people that play wide receiver out there that watch this show, play wide receiver at one time in their life. You already know. There were certain things that you couldn't do, right? You probably, if you was a good route runner, okay, you probably wasn't the fastest person. You probably couldn't take the top off the defense, but dang, boy, can you make that cut, and do a quick slant in that slide or hit that out route towards the sidelines like none other. You know what I'm saying? You knew how to run them 10 yards and cut towards that Gatorade, didn't you? So I just want to reserve my judgment, man. I just like to see these guys do it with another quarterback. And I don't feel like that's unfair for me to say, because even Drew Brees came out here and said that he was limited over the last few years. Even he said it. I don't want anybody to make it seem like, oh man, you blaming Drew. No, if anybody blaming Drew, Drew is blaming Drew, because what I'm telling you is what Drew said. Period. So let's give these guys a chance, man. Let's give them a chance. Give them a chance to see what they got. And then if it ain't working out, then we can have I will gladly open up these phone lines and let you guys read these dudes a riot act and talk about who we need to get. But training camp has not came, and we don't know what these guys can do. We don't know what the transitions or what corners being turned. We don't know who is going to step up, and we don't know who is going to go out there and give it their best shot. Let's give these guys a chance. This is the last one. We're going to get up out of here. Jay Snag says, TJ, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers leaving the Packers? He could go to the Dolphins or the Raiders. Well, look, I can see him going to the Raiders, but not the Dolphins. It's unfortunate, man. What the heck is going on with Tua Tagovailoa? This is his second season in the Dolphins organization, and they're already talking about how this guy doesn't have it. I really just don't understand that. I don't understand, like, how can you do that? Like, it's rather this guy is really trash. I don't mean as a person, but as a quarterback, or they people just don't believe in him. That's sad, man. But anyway, I can see him going to the Raiders because I just feel like John Gruden is a snake in the grass. It's just what it is. I mean, look, John Gruden, claim to fame is winning a Super Bowl with Tony Dungy players. Congratulations to you. Besides that, you know what I'm saying? He up here talking about XY banana or whatever the heck he talking about. It takes my homeboy Julius to talk about that. But I'm not a fan of John Gruden, never been a fan of John Gruden. I feel like he basically just made his name off somebody else's success. He just was the coach. He's the modern day Barry Switzer. And he signs a 10-year contract for reasons unbeknownst to me. Mark Davis, I don't know if he just wants to lose or want to be a failure his whole life. I really just don't know. But John Gruden, I can see that happening because he don't believe in Derek Carr, and I feel like his commitment is conditional, very, very conditional. So I can see him going to the Raiders. But as far as Aaron Rodgers is concerned, I mean, how can you not feel where Aaron Rodgers is coming from? This team, year after year, has never gotten this dude another wide receiver out of Devontae Adams, always getting themselves a defensive player that don't work out. Last real defensive player that they drafted was Jair Alexander. Anybody else I've seen on that team, I mean, they were just another guy. The defensive tackle that they just recently drafted a couple of years ago, he's working out. But you didn't put this guy, you didn't have this guy in the room when you were talking about getting Jordan Love. You don't let him be in the middle of the conversations when you're trying to get wide receivers and free agents. And it's like you just don't respect the dude. So why should he respect you? And this man has went out there with no offensive line for many years, no defense, right? Some of the same issues, excuse me, that the New Orleans Saints had, Aaron Rodgers had. So I can't blame him. If he wants to leave, I feel like it's justifiably so. And the Green Bay Packers organization brought it on themselves. I mean, this could have completely been avoided. But this is the proverbial middle finger if I ever seen it. Like, we don't care what you say. Go out there and play. Shut up and throw, right? Now you say shut up and dribble. Shut up and throw. Like, you're our quarterback. Go out there, number 12. Go out there and throw a touchdown, right? Go shuffle for your bread. I mean, that's what they basically did. So I can't even be mad at them. But Aaron Rodgers ain't hurting right now, man. It seems like he living his best life. He has a movie star, girlfriend, a fiance. This guy's hosting Jeopardy. Look like he ain't shaved in months and loving every minute of it. He riding on the back of the truck with a 12 case of beer. Aaron Rodgers is the type of guy that I would love to hang out with. Don't he seem like a guy you'll want to hang out with? Seems like a pretty cool dude. I mean, yeah, he probably arrogant. I mean, but why wouldn't you be if you got some of the best arm talent in NFL history? Why wouldn't you be a little bit arrogant? But I ain't got no problem with him. I don't. Okay, I don't have no problem with Aaron Rodgers at all. Okay, they need to do right by the man or let him go. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. This has been a fun show, man. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed the State of the Saints podcast. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it, man. Coming up next week on the State of the Saints podcast, we have Mike Detillier on the show. We're going to have Mike Detillier on the show. We're working on trying to get Jim Trotter from the Huddle and Flow podcast. You probably remember the Huddle and Flow podcast with Steve Weiss, who's been on the State of the Saints podcast. And we're also trying to get a couple more guests on the show, man. So keep it locked right here to the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. This is a family-friendly show, man, where we talk about football. And this is a family atmosphere, man. The people that come across this timeline and come across this chat, I recognize. You know what I'm saying? We built, a relationship. This is a family on the State of the Saints podcast. Whether you're a diehard fan, you've been following the Saints for years, you know all the X's and O's, all the Willies and the Joes, or you really just a casual fan, you just watch football in passing. This is a show for you. And I really do appreciate everybody for being here. I appreciate your time. And we are brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped.com, the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. 2 million men worldwide choose Manscaped for all their below-the-waist needs, all their grooming needs. Guys, you got to take care of yourself, man. Your girl will love it, okay? You're grooming yourself, taking care of yourself. That's important. Go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints. You will save 20%. Shouts out to Mighty Mouse, who just became a new supporter of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you, brother. And also, previous episodes are available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. If you have not already, follow on Facebook, facebook.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much. Have a great, productive day, morning, evening, wherever you are right now. And all I got to say is, who dat?